I spoke to consumer expert Helen and I began by asking her what she makes of those figures.
I think it's very concerning. Those statistics are really quite worrying, and I think, as we've seen, all the consumer organisations and disability organisations and indeed individuals, so many who signed an open letter earlier this year. I think it's 58,000 signatures, so that's a lot of people to be concerned about.
And we heard in that piece that there are calls for, as you said, an energy social tariff for people with disabilities. Is this something that people are telling you they're really struggling with?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can see, as we saw from that film, that people need more energy if they're disabled. That quite often they need it for lots of facilities and being able to use the medical equipment. I think it's very, very hard because most of us are struggling through the cost of living crisis, and then people who are disabled have got this extra cost that they can't afford.
And there are currently social tariffs available. What more can you tell us about those?
Well, they're available there for water and for telecom broadband, so you can get that cheaper tariff for some providers in broadband and telecom, but obviously still not in energy. And
what advice would you give to anyone wanting to get on a social tariff, one of those ones that you mentioned earlier that are currently available?
Well, if you go on the Ofcom website, you can see a list of providers that offer a social tariff. So look at your own contract, see if there's a penalty fee for breaking that early, and see if it would be cheaper to switch, and also to see if your current contract provider already has a social tariff, and look to see if there is something cheaper. But that's definitely the first place to go, is to see that list and look at other providers and see what's available for you for your circumstance. And they're available for people who are on certain benefits, so like maybe pension credit or universal credit. So have a look at what's available for your circumstance.
And just lastly, do you have any idea why the energy tariff in particular hasn't been thought of to be implemented?
Well, there used to be one back in 2011, and then they pushed it into other tariffs. So it was there, and I think when there was more competition and we could, people were switching and there were different tariffs, but now we're seeing in the last sort of few years, of course, that everyone is charging the same. And I think that's just the providers for you. They're just looking at what's the most expensive at the moment. But hopefully we might see something come down, that we're beginning to see a little bit more competition. So hopefully there will be some other tariffs, but I still think that we need that call for a social tariff, definitely.
Absolutely. Well, Helen and Judy, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thank you.